Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the official ARK Podcast number 51. My name is Brad, and I'm here with the core team. Your host tonight, as always, our incredible leader, Atlas. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you for the introduction, Mr. Brad. And folks, welcome to ARK. This is the podcast number 51. We're on a Wednesday. It's a fantastic Wednesday here. We are seeing the price of ARK at $5.84. Market cap reaching $4,794,079. And really special Spark prize. We see it's been growing every single day. This is going to be our third rewards given for Spark, and that's going to be 90 ARK. That's going to be given probably in the next 10 to 15 minutes or even shorter than that. So glad to have all of you folks here tonight. Yesterday, we gave away 56.32 ARK, 32.61 was the first Spark reward pot that we gave away. So that was Monday. And look, guys, we're having an absolutely fantastic day, making a lot of upgrades to the user interface, feedback coming from our community. A lot of folks hearing about ARK, wanting to come over. We have also an AMA that's going to be happening later this evening that we're going to go over, give you all the information about that as well. And one with Mr. Udeman, who's here present, that's going to be happening tomorrow. Also very late, but yeah, let me actually just tell you now. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 a.m. UTC at the TLD Lounge. The host is going to be Lane, and that is the Crypto Doc, who is the owner of that lounge. Fantastic gentleman out of the West Coast of the United States. So let's see, do we have any questions as we get started tonight with the podcast? For any of you that might have a question or a comment, we'd love to hear from you. Okay, no questions at this time. So we're going to go ahead and bring Mr. Brett Norden to talk about some updates while I go ahead and queue up our Spark rewards. So Mr. Brett Norden, please come on through, sir. We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, thanks, Atlas. Yeah, how is everybody doing tonight? Looking forward to this Spark drawing here. This is gonna be pretty exciting. And yeah, we've had some updates made to the UI today, the DApp, and just to help some of the user experience. And some people had little bugs and things they found. So we're working as hard as we can in the background to fix those as fast as possible. Those are usually little things that Alex, our front-end developer, can handle. We're also building a comprehensive list of feature upgrades as well. So if there are things that you see functionally or additions that might be made to the way that the UI functions or the DApp functions, we're taking those into account, prioritizing those, helping to detail them out. And so if you do have a feature that you see might be lacking or think something you think may need improvement, go ahead and post it in the main chat, or feel free to DM me or one of the other team members, and we'll get that on the list. The more detail you can provide, usually the better, so that we can break down screenshots, things like that. If you have some experience in other dApps and you'd like to see those features implemented here, or if you just have an idea, we appreciate all of that feedback. Some of the little things that we've been just tweaking and updating over the past few days. We now have a max button on the buy page, on the swap page. So if you go there and you will see the max button, it does round down slightly so that there's no gas errors or anything. So if you did have a balance that was slightly lower than what the decimal places were appearing as, we do round those down to make sure that there are no gas errors and we don't get any missed transactions, things like that. And then we also have we do allow on the buy page, I should also mention that you no longer have to purchase if you already have an ARK Vault account. you can dollar cost average in with this, as little BUSD as you want. There's no minimum purchase requirement if you already have an ARK Vault account. If you have not set up an ARK Vault account yet, then it's 11.5 is the minimum purchase value, because we go ahead and automatically deposit that in. So to account for taxes, that will give you a net of 10 ArkFi tokens in your ARK Vault account when you purchase 11.5 on the swap page. And I think that's it on that update. Then we also have some pop-ups on the sell page now to just alert people when their sell limit is reached. So just a reminder, you can only sell once per day with a max number of ArkFi tokens being 200. So it's one purchase per day up to 200 ArkFi tokens. And if you have gone and done a sell within the last 24 hours, or you've made a deposit of ArkFi tokens into the foundation to create bond, then you will see that sell limit reached pop up. So we're just working on some of these feedback things and getting things ironed out. And if people are getting gas errors, usually it's because the transaction is going to fail. And so we want to make sure that they understand why that error is coming and why the transaction would fail. We also have just a page loader that's like a little hourglass type response. So people know that something's happening on the DApp side while you're waiting for a transaction to occur or something to load. We do have a page loader now. And then we also have, just basically on the swap and foundation pages, we do an auto refresh. Most people have seen that on the vault page, where you're constantly seeing the timer run as well as your available rewards build up. Now we have those same feedbacks on the swap and the foundation page. So you don't have to reload or refresh the page. It just automatically does it for you. And that's about it, Atlas. I don't have any other updates. But as I mentioned, send any feature requests, bug fixes, things that you find. But overall, I think all of the DApp pages and the UI is running much, much smoother. I think now we'll be able to shift more towards either new feature upgrades or just design elements and things like that to help people. We've talked about just doing tutorials and things like that, walkthroughs, and then making those are available so that new users don't have much of a learning curve. Was there any other questions or comments about how the UI is looking, the DApp in general? And if you did have any feedback at this moment, I could go ahead and take some notes if you had some comments.
Hey, Brett. Good evening.
Hey, Florida Realtor, how you doing?
Great, man. Hey, got a question, and I know you could explain this in the most simplest, easiest, understandable way. I've had some questions today in the chat and some other things. People are trying to figure out the bond, the foundation breakdown. Where it shows bond price, and then it's got ARK price. And then it breaks down the value, and then below it, it's got the bond value. A couple different numbers there that is wonder if you might can connect the dots of those for us tonight.
Sure. Yeah, I'm looking at the foundation, just the UI in general. I think the important thing, where people have been getting some confusion, is just looking at the labels on the different fields that are there. So like the bond balance is labeled bond, so we know that that's the number of bond that's in your account. And then the bond price is in BUSD. So just looking at those labels that are in those fields, I think is probably going to help a lot of people. And then down below, it says like bond value staked. And that's the number. We've talked about moving these around a little bit and then doing some color coding so that people know if they've dropped below a certain level. If they're trying to get their level 1, for example, and they drop below the $250 limit for that referral level 1, then it will, turn red or some kind of response there so that people know they've dropped below that level. So we've talked about shifting these boxes around a little bit to emphasize or prioritize on the page, which fields people are probably looking at most. And my guess is the two fields that people are looking at most is the bond value staked and the referral level that they're getting from that bond value. So I think those are probably ones that we'll prioritize towards the upper section of the page, and then move down, like the bond balance. People can't really relate that, and the bond price is probably not as important, and move those down below. But those are just some of the things we're looking at to make it a little bit more streamlined or easier to understand.
Yeah, that makes sense because you can't see your actual bond value. It's not priority. It's not like you said. It's not up there. Something else is up there. So if that is moved up there, that'll be plain bond. I think that might be a little bit more of clarity on some things. And for sure, it sounds like a good solution there. What about this? I mean, a lot of times, 99.9% of the time, people are buying bonds, for a downline or to get to the Spark Awards. Regardless, if you're doing it for downline, you're doing for Spark Awards, that bond has to be valid, which means it has to be above the $200 value range on that end. And a lot of people go in there to buy that, and they're not able, they're having to go up with their money, like $2. I think it's $280 gets you a bond. It comes like $252 value or something like that. Is there a way to just go ahead and that's default? Like if you try to buy a bond for X amount of money, it's not going to register because it's not going to equal to $250. It's not going to do any good on that end.
Right. Yeah. I mean, people are buying them for different reasons. I think there'll be some people that are just trying to build up their accounts. And so I don't know if I want to put any kind of limits on those. If they're just throwing in, 50 here, 50 there, dollar cost averaging in, taking some ARK profits and putting them into the foundation. Yeah, I'll think about that.
It would just be it would just be from the initial investment, because I mean, obviously, adding more to it, you can add $10, you could compound your daily earnings of $1.50 to it or whatever, but just the initial buy is what people are looking for. They're looking, to be able to qualify for the Spark and to qualify for the downline. And some of them not understand that, there's tax involved and stuff on that. So, so that's what I was just trying to get at, just the initial buy.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put that down and we can put it into our features list. And because I know we're going to be doing some work on that page. And also, as I mentioned, just to try to visualize, when you reach that level 1, and maybe it's through colors, changing of colors, things like that, so that that person understands that they've reached the level 1. And if they come back and for whatever reason, the price of the bond maybe have gone down a little bit and they've dropped below that $250 level, they've got to top it up a little. So those were some of the things that we talked about adding, but I could definitely put down, maybe some visual cues for buying, and then maybe like a tooltip or something that pops up that says, to reach your level 1 referral reward, you need a minimum of, $250 bond value, which is approximately $280 purchase value or something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That'd be great. And as far as the color coding, these seem to be pretty good and would be kind of consistent with the vault indicators. Green would be obviously what you want as a color bond. It qualifies for things. And then if the value does start going down, it turns to gray, to give you an opportunity to go in there and, put some capital in. And then obviously red means, you're in the negative. I mean, it's kind of that end. So that'd be kind of a light indicator.
Yeah. The tricky thing that we have, because we talked through this a little bit, is some people are buying the bond to level up their legacy NFT. So if they have a silver, they need to buy $500 worth of bond to get to their level 4. So then it becomes, do we take into account the fact that they have a silver NFT, and then that green value now becomes $500 instead of $250? So there's some complexity there that I'm sure you can appreciate. So yeah, we'll have to. It's definitely on the list, and we'll have to come up with a way to make sense of that. But I think we can do it logically. I think we can do it. To determine whether they have a legacy NFT or not, and then their green value would be higher based on that legacy NFT value.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, it's not a one size fits all. There are folks that that do boost up their legacy to be able to get to that fourth and fifth downline. I get that for sure. And you're right. It would be some complexity there to be able to write certain code that would interact. If you do have a silver NFT, then the X amount value would be X amount or something. So it'd be a lot of different things there and all. But yeah, it'd be nice to have, down the road for sure. So.
Yeah, cool. Are you using those the little eye buttons that are there? Have you been using those at all to their little information pop up?
I hover over it and get a
Okay.
description and get an idea of what things are. I mean, they're informative. I mean, nice little bullet points for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we spent some time to add those in the hopes that people would use those as a definition for what that value is. And I think it's getting a good feedback so far. We've made sure that we've gone back through them. Some of them on the vault page, we had 1 or 2 discrepancies. And so we've updated those in the last 24 hours. There's just been a lot of little tweaks and stuff that Alex has been doing, from pop-ups to on the auto allocation. I think a lot of the things that were happening yesterday in the last 24 hours, that's all been cleaned up. Oh, I did want to mention, because I know it's gone around a little bit, but we did a major server upgrade. So Jan, our backend developer, he now has 3 servers running and all load balancing. So before we had 1 server, and I believe now we have 3. So those issues that we were seeing with just basically the first server just didn't have enough juice to handle all the transactions. And when we were getting, heavy usage of the DApp, it was really bogging things down, and that server just the script started failing because it was overloaded. So that's been upgraded now. Thought I'd just mention that. I don't think anybody's seen any issues today, as of in the last 7-8 hours since Jan was awake and was able to kind of put everything into action. I know everything's been working pretty smooth for me. And on the auto allocation side, I think there was some questions about their balance looked like it reached 0, and I think that's all been restored as well. So yeah, some major steps forward in terms of just performance and reliability of the backend server. Once again, everything on the blockchain was fine. So none of the transactions were lost, or nobody had a missed transaction or something like that, or a missed reward. Also the legacy NFT rewards, that's all been working well today. So that seems to have been all fixed with this server upgrade. So we're pretty happy about that. It definitely cut down on, a bunch of the tickets and stuff we were seeing related to those things. So that's been a great addition. Was there anything else or any other comments, Florida Realtor?
No, that's everything's good. And I think those little information tabs work good. And it was just to understand some of the values and what you had said earlier makes sense now. So that's what the help I was kind of needing. So that way I can just kind of connect the dots and because I understand what the information of what those tabs are, but I just didn't understand how those numbers arrived at those numbers. So that's why. But now that you've connected the dots, I'm sure folks get it, and I could certainly help them get it now by understanding that. So I appreciate it, Brett, as always.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. On the list. Sorry.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me
now?
Oh, great. Well, look at folks. We've gone ahead and ran the system to pick the random winner for tonight's Spark Prize pool, which is a payout of 90.08 ARK. So we have here the winner for tonight's free giveaway. So congratulations for participating, being an investor here at ARK. Really, guys, congratulations. Let's go. All right. So that's our third one, and it keeps growing. I mean, you see what's happening here. 32.61 ARK on Monday, and yesterday, Tuesday, 56.32, and tonight, 90.08. It's going to continue to go in that fantastic route, right? For growth. As the pot becomes considerably larger, we're going to start to split it, between, 2 winners or 3. We'll see how it grows, and make sure that as many folks get an opportunity to be a winner here every single day through the Spark reward system. So thank you guys for participating. Absolutely something that we look forward to. And if anybody who wins the pot ever wants to come on the podcast and tell us, their story, maybe it's a single mother with 2 kids, and this reward really came in time where they had to pay a bill, or someone just really needed the cash and wants to have their investment here grow and be able to really take their investment to another level. We look forward to hearing those testimonials. So yeah, a lot of great stories I think are going to be coming to us as we're here and we go on this fantastic long journey. So does anyone have a question or comment so far?
Yes, I have one.
Go right ahead, sir.
So is there any way to know whether someone or I got the Spark reward?
Right now, the way we have it is to, this interface right here on the homepage where anyone can verify it, and obviously you'll be able to see the difference in your, ARK Vault account balance as those rewards are being deposited. You have to earn them out, and it does not have a negative connotation in any way towards your investment as far as your deposits or NDV, CWR in the system. When we roll out our mobile application, we're going to do some major upgrades on the whole system, and we will be able to push out notifications. You've won, right? You've earned the prize for tonight, and so forth. Right now, the way the system is, you'll have to come to the page and see if you're one of these lucky winners.
See, I'm just it'll be a little suggestion. Maybe on the reward ARK page, if you list if an address of the winner listed, probably it'll be good. My address is here, so I must want that, so I can go and check the stats and things like that. So yeah.
Put it where? Did you say?
Homepage, maybe winner list. So far 3 people. So if there are 3 addresses in the page, probably it'll be good for the advertisement, versus someone just come in and see, oh, my address is here, so I must want it, something like that. There is no way unless you look at the page, vault page. It must be some pending word is there. Oh, where this came from? Probably it is from Spark, something like that.
Okay, that's a good idea.
I just want to see, yeah, winners are on the page, so it's kind of a good thing for the users and the community, and it's kind of a little advertisement.
Yeah, we'll probably make some banners too to post here in the Telegram group. Although we do understand that not everyone is on Telegram. So we'll do it in Discord and ideally also on the other social medias as well, Twitter, and make that announcement to be able to communicate with whoever the winner here, as we do not know exactly who the person behind the wallet is, right? There's always that sense of anonymity that we have in crypto, which is quite fantastic. So great idea to do better efforts to let folks know that they have been selected, that they've been able to win that great prize. So I think as it grows too, people will automatically be able to see that something's happened, something special has really come through. So that is a pretty substantial reward to have here on the 3rd day. You do not have to buy a ticket. You do not have to scratch anything. You do not have to, continue to add money into something or gamble. That's not our culture. That's not what we do here. So, just participating, being a legacy NFT holder, or having your first level of bond LP, $250 worth of bond LP, you're in the game, you're ready to win. So really, quite fantastic. So happy to see here we got Mr. DS Crypto, Mr. Jedi. How's it going, DS?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Atlas? Sorry, just taking care of some stuff at work, listening. But doing good. Doing good. Trying to get out of here for the day.
All right, man. Do what you got to do. Jedi's been hanging out. He's been updating. We had a nice conversation last night about really Ultimo, what you guys are doing, and how it fits really into our whole culture here, freedom, and when it comes to finances, being able to not be subject to a lot of the restrictions and a lot of the questions that arise from when you're doing banking transactions related to crypto earnings and so forth. So yeah, man, we've been pushing it, and we've got a special for a special section in our interface for the broadcast that we're going to be rolling out here for you guys pretty soon. It's a professional quality streaming studio with a great interface. So we've got your box there for the Ultimo advertising to push you guys. So great partnership, man. Glad to have you guys on board, and really excited to see that you're doing well and selling your NFTs, and that so many folks are using your product currently and being able to access their crypto without having any issues. So yeah, great to have you guys here.
Yeah, thanks, man. And it's awesome. You're right to see people. We got people that have never even off-ramped their crypto because they haven't really felt comfortable in doing so, that have joined the Ultimo platform, and then now seeing ARK and everything that you guys are doing, and that the partnership that's been formed, and just the like-minded individuals that have come together. It's great, and we're all just getting started, and I think the future is very bright for all of us, for sure.
Absolutely.
Let's get this crypto.
Let's get this crypto. Let's get this crypto.
Let's get this crypto.
Let's get this crypto.
Let's get this crypto.
Let's get this crypto.
Let's get this crypto.
Oh, God damn.
Oh yeah, let's get this crypto.
Let's get this crypto.
I don't know why that makes me laugh every time. Hey, DS, just a quick update on the Ultimo card side. I was able to successfully load my card and made some purchases in the last 24 hours, barbershop and lunch and stuff like that. So if anybody has any questions about whether the card works or how it functions, go ahead and reach out to me. But I've been having a great time with it so far. Appreciate the product. Thank you.
That's awesome to hear, man. Yeah, definitely. And if anybody is on the fence about wondering if the product does work, it works. I mean, we got people that are pulling out large amounts of capital, with the card, and just being able to take their friends on trip or their family on trips and stuff like that. We had somebody that was over in Colombia and paid for it with the Ultimo card. So it's always good to hear. And if anybody has the card and they have any issues, you can always reach out directly to me, or Jez, or any one of us, and we try to get it taken care of right away. So yeah, awesome to hear, Brett.
Man, I've had such a
we got to link up so you could buy me lunch.
I've had such a day today, guys. Christmas shopping. It's been nuts. Never had a problem. Spent thousands, and it's been amazing. And done it all with passive income. Just a brilliant thing to be able to use at this time of year. But I use it every day for everything. So, I'm a little bit biased, but yeah, it does work, guys. It's sound.
And something I posted in the channel for us, Brett. Maybe you could take a look at it. I was trying to post in the channel here, but just everybody beware out there. There's a scam going around right now, and you can look in that channel, Brett, and post it in your ARK channel. But there's a scam going around right now. I actually received one of the DMs this morning, and it's a voice message. It looks like it's a voice message, and it's kind of dumb. It says click here, but apparently I don't know what it does because I blocked it immediately, but apparently if you click on that voice message, it hacks your device and then steals all your information. So just be wary, guys, out there. Scammers are getting crafty.
Thanks for the heads up on that, DS. I got that right over to our admins, and they went ahead and posted it into our main chat. So I appreciate that heads up.
Yep, absolutely.
Hey, Brett, it's customary to where you've got to post your first purchase with the Ultimo card. So you got to post a picture of that haircut, man.
No, I was thinking about that. Everywhere I go, though, they're like, "Do you want a receipt?" And I always say no, right? So I was like, "Man, I need the receipt, something with my card and a picture, something." Yeah, I guess I could do the haircut too. It looks exactly the same as my picture, though, so you wouldn't notice anything different.
Just get a video uploaded of you tapping and going, or however you pay for it. Put your card in the machine or tap and go.
Yeah,
That's
the next I
do.
gotta try the ATM next. That's the next stop is the ATM. I gotta test that out.
It's not an ATM now. It's called a slot machine.
Oh, exactly.
You know what ATM stands for? Access to money. That's it, baby. Access to money.
Love it. Yeah, I'm having fun with it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, glad you're enjoying it, buddy.
I want to give you guys props, man, because the DAP, just everything about it, the way it looks, the information that's provided there to the ARK investors. I'm very, very impressed with the way it's the sleekest, most informational dashboard that I've seen yet, and I'm really, really impressed, and I think everybody else is as well. I know I've been having conversations with individuals in other communities about it, and nothing but good things, and then the way the token is doing right now and the way the protocol is doing. I know we're early, but everything is very well put together, and you guys are on top of your stuff. And if there is a little glitch or a little something, you guys take care of it right away. So it's you guys are doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you for that. Yes, appreciate it, man. Definitely, the team is working extremely hard. Yesterday, man, it was actually this morning, the upgrade to load balancing 3 servers, because the bandwidth and the amount of data that we're really hosting over here for giving you folks all this information at a very, very fast rate. I think the page is loading in 0.00 seconds. 0.007 seconds, which is pretty intense. So yeah, that was giving us some issues. Jan went ahead and took care of that. And look, it's the security blanket that we sleep under here every night, understanding that this gentleman was the head of IT security for the whole country of Holland. Our data is very, very well protected. And, we didn't foresee that we would have so much volume. I've got some screenshots here of what was coming through on the server, just processing all this data and keeping it organized. There's a lot of API scripts that are giving us this fantastic function, but it was overloading really the whole system. So look, thank you for the feedback and the appreciation. It's all about this team that's come together to make this happen. And I couldn't be prouder of the guys that we have here and this fantastic community.
Yeah, I would just like to say, Atlas, it's nice to be in a community where you feel appreciated and valued as a customer, and it's great to see. And hopefully, the integrity and the honesty that you show will attract more customers. So, yeah, full respect to you guys. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. So yeah, we're happy. We're making a lot of these upgrades that Brett just gave you guys the update, and listening to the community, listening to the wonderful advisors. Kelly Snook, Rebecca Snook also has been coming with some ideas, and we want to make it as intuitive as possible, and understanding really, guys, who our end customer is. And it's the little guy, right? The average Joe that wants to become a savage Joe, right? Uber driver, gardener, hairstylist, somebody working at Costco, stocking the shelves, putting those pallets up there. I just can't wait to quit, and understands that, this is not a get rich overnight situation. This is a long-term investment where you have to make the sacrifice today and have the patience to really manage your investment. But of course, doing that due diligence, and the easier we make it, the barrier to entry here, I believe, guys, is not the investment. I think it sells itself, but really being able to convey to folks how the system works and have it operating in the palm of their hand, where they're able to go and tell a friend about it, and have them scan the QR code on the mobile app, and just join really, really quickly, right? Start earning, start playing this game, come on board to ARK. There is absolutely space here for so many folks around the globe that are currently experiencing, if not the same inflation situations that we are currently experiencing and we're seeing in our lives. I think most of us live in Europe and America, some parts of Asia, but there's folks that are in worse situations. There's a lot of folks that don't even have bank accounts around the world, and having a investment system that's giving them that yield, that they're able through time, either create an income or replace an income, or just add to what they're doing in their current lives, is going to make a huge difference. So I think that's our challenge ahead, being able to communicate with those folks so that it's easy. A elderly person will be able to understand it and get it within, maybe 10, 15 minutes. So there's a lot of ideas that we have to be able to convey through our educational materials, videos, some documentation, maybe even having some simple modules where folks can spend the time and take a little test and earn some ARK while they're going through that, and provide an incentive and provide really an education so that they could make a decision. And having Ultimo here, especially with those countries like China, which have restrictions on having access to crypto, their big great wall, right, of security, which folks can get through with the VPN. But having a PWA, right, having that mobile application that they'll be able to cross on over through a VPN, load that onto their phones, and just let that catch on fire, right? Just go, into their communities and share that and start to play, and then have them get their Ultimo card shipped on over there. I mean, guys, the potential that we really foresee here, just there is it's really something we can't even equate, right? It's something massive if we're able to really connect with that community in a large way. And then you look at South America, some of these places that don't even, have access to central exchanges, which we are seeing a lot of folks taking their funds off of those exchanges because of the fear that they could, go belly up overnight, as we've seen happen, unfortunately. Having, Web3 wallets, hardware wallets, and having ways to get your fiat in these countries where, a lot of them, if they get an international bank transfer, we're here in Europe, at least I am, and every time you send a substantial amount of funds, there's all kinds of red flags that come up. They want you to come in personally, show your ID, invoices, documentation, where, who, why, and they look at you like a criminal. It's something that's really, really, uncomfortable for a lot of folks out there. And speaking of Web3, DeFi, Mr. Z, are you here with us this evening?
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Great, man. Great. What do you think about keeping, your crypto on a centralized exchange?
I've removed all my crypto about a year ago, and I would recommend everybody do the same, because withdrawals are being halted on Binance and on Bitfinex currently. It's because of outflow. It's because of centralized characters making single decisions and not leaving it for proof of vote. And it's unfortunate, but that's just us going through an evolution of DeFi, sort of playing the mushroom effect of, eating up the garbage and bringing out more cyber connections. And that's where DeFi is kind of, going, and a lot. And then JP Morgan and other banks are doing the same thing, where they're bringing in a bunch of DeFi solutions instead of going through centralized exchanges. So I think the future is going to be in DeFi.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do I have the floor? I mean, you can ask the environment if they want to ask any more questions, because I am going to go into a little bit of a rabbit hole for the next 10, 12 minutes.
All right. Yeah, let's see. Maybe somebody has a question regarding ARK, their investment, any of the features that they're seeing, if there's any confusion. I know we spoke to somebody yesterday that was a investor in the pre-sale rounds, and they didn't understand, legacy NFT or even bond, and it was something that was pretty shocking to us because we're here. I mean, this is the 51st podcast in a row, guys. On average, we're here 3 hours, sometimes 4.5. And I think we've really made it clear that we are here to answer any questions from any investor. And been unfortunate to hear that someone just didn't understand or got confused. So it's important to have these Q&A opportunities. So before we get started, Z, let me see if there's anyone that might have a question. And guys, don't feel that any question isn't important. We're all here to learn. This is a complex system. This is not your grandmother's ROI DApp or LMS. This system is built from the ground up, fresh contracts. The whole system that you see here is very unique, taking a lot of great things that we've been able to see in hindsight that have happened in other projects and do a complete re-engineer from the ground up. So you can't assume that an NDV at ARK is an NDV at somewhere else. So we encourage your questions, and as we grow, we're going to stand a lot of new folks, even new to crypto, are going to be coming here. And we do not want anyone to feel intimidated in any way, shape, or form about asking the simplest question. It's very important that we allow that to happen and that we have the empathy to handhold anyone, even if they've never used MetaMask, and take our time. And of course, always, guys, I do want to remind you that we don't promote and shill our links, our teams. You are all well and capable to have your own communities where you can educate and you can bring and onboard new folks and run it how you wish. But here at ARK, this is an educational portal, and it might be somebody's daughter, it might be somebody's neighbor who's sitting on a pile of cash. He wants to diversify 1-2% of that into ARK, and they want to see that we have a professional environment where there's respect for every new investor, that no one's going to try to DM them and, hey, you're new, join my team. So we don't talk about that enough, but I do have to make a point sometimes to remind folks what our whole culture is here of being very respectful to any new investor that joins this community as we continue here on this path to growth. So with that, any questions at this time?
I have one.
Go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'm just asking about what is this Spark prize pool? And how do you win that?
Okay. Brett, do you want to take that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The Spark rewards kind of came out of the idea of making the round robin compound rewards more decentralized. So the way that the round robin works is if every time you compound, 5% of that compound goes upline 15 levels through whoever's above you. So basically, if those upline wallets, if they qualify, they will capture those 5% compound rewards. In the case where they don't qualify, then that 5% ends up going to the Guardian wallet, which is basically just a top level. It's not really a dev wallet or anything like that. It's just the ARK Vault tax vault, I'll call it that. So every time one of those compounds goes into that Guardian wallet, we then take 50% of that total pool of those compound rewards that get collected in a 24-hour period. And we take 50% of those, and those go into what we call the Spark pool. And then, as you may have witnessed, Atlas just ran a VRF, which is a verifiable random number generator that then selects a wallet of people who qualify for those Spark rewards. And the way to qualify is you either need to have a bond deposit of $250 or USD or more, and that'll qualify you for a level 1 referral rewards, or you can hold a legacy NFT, any legacy NFT, and your wallet would qualify for those Spark rewards drawings every day.
Thank you.
Sure. Yep. And so those winners that you see there on the screen, if you're able to see Atlas's screen, those 3 winners were all qualifying wallets that had one of those conditions: the bond, basically referral level 1, or a legacy NFT. And we're going to see that. And we're going to see that pool increase in size, we believe, over time here, just because as everyone's wallets grow and the number of users increase in the system, then those compound rewards that are sent to the Guardian wallet are just going to keep increasing.
And I mean, you know, we're day 3 and we just gave away 90 ARK. That's like a $500 reward. I mean, how fantastic is that for day 3? You know, it really is incredible.
And don't cut it short. $525.60 to be exact.
Wow, even better. I just did some quick math in my head, but yeah, I didn't use the 84 cents on there, but it's just incredible, it really is.
Absolutely. Who's next that has a question? We'd love to hear from you.
So $525.60, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm just announcing that one to my community. Can you DM me which address that got the Spark reward?
It's displayed on the screen.
Yes, I could do that for you, you demand, of course. There we go. You should have it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Any other questions before we go on down the DeFi rabbit hole? All right. Well, Mr. C, let's get this crypto.
Let's get this crypto knowledge, because there is a lot of things I want to kind of point out. So guys, I just want to firstly give my personal experience, because I've been in several DeFi projects and I've been in communities, and I've got the privilege of having a lot of YouTubers here and a lot of publishers here. And in the next couple of weeks, me and the ARK team are going to be working on building a knowledge base on Discord and having a constant dialogue when it comes to utility of NFTs, when it comes to ERC20, when it comes to ERC721. And down to it, I've created a couple of communities in my sort of DeFi life cycle. And by having folks that sort of are publishers, that are content creators, it does create a really good vibe where people get their questions answered much quickly. And we're going to try to do that in Discord. We're going to create a subcategory of much needed knowledge, but then also a ongoing conversation, because DeFi is something that I can't just cover in 5 to 10 minutes or even an hour. Sometimes the dialogues go on for hours upon days. And then that sort of creates a sort of vibrancy of knowledge that basically makes a more intelligent investor. As Atlas says, what's the quote, Atlas? I say an average Joe to a savage Joe, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
This is what we want in our community, and the reason why my communities have sort of thrived is because the general sort of member was able to answer a new member's question and then put them onto the rabbit hole and have multiple dialogues. So anybody here that sort of there's been a few of you like SK and others, Johnny Cash, have been really vibrant in the Discord. In our, we're only about 150 members, but we do believe it's going to increase as we go on. So if any of you want to volunteer and become mods, do DM me or DM Brad or DM Akash, and we will have you situated. We will have you trained. We will work with you, and there's going to be many incentives for doing that. So if anyone wants to get some training, wants to learn and knows a little bit about Discord, do DM us, and we will make you part of the sort of Discord community, and we can start to organize from there. So that's a small little promo that I have. After that, like, we are going to have sort of more discussions there. In Telegram, we love Telegram for how it's singular in its ways when it comes to speaking to the community. But on Discord, we can have multifaceted schemes where people can be listening to music, can be playing a video game, we can be playing poker, and at the same time we can have global discussions and general chats and stuff. So that is an interactive thing that we are going to be working on Discord, and I do need volunteers. So if anyone from here wants to DM us, do DM the team here, and we will work with you. So that's the thing there. The next thing I want to sort of cover is like one big headline that I've been DM'd about a lot, because some of you in the States use Paxful as an exchange to buy and sell your tokens. And an unfortunate thing happened today where the Paxful CEO, what's the guy's name? Ray Youssef. He came out with a big statement, and unfortunately, Paxful removed Ethereum from its platform. And before, you know, people can give their opinions on it, I do want to give the official statement of their reasoning, right? So I'm going to give you these 3 pointers, and you guys can tell me if you agree or disagree with it. So the first thing that they pointed out was Ethereum switch from proof of work to proof of stake. Proof of work is an innovation that makes Bitcoin the only honest money there is, whereas proof of stake has rendered Ethereum essentially a digital form of fiat. Number 2 point, Ethereum is not decentralized. It's controlled by a small group of people, right? Number 3, Ethereum has had some utility on real use cases such as credit and lending, but it thrives because of tokenization. The tokens that Ethereum has spawned has become scams. So he's talking about sort of the meme coin scene and stuff here. If I ever see this guy in real life, I would love to have a real open discussion with him, because I think he's got a lot of like sort of Bitcoin ultras around him, and I think he doesn't understand the utilities of decentralized finance and the way we see it. So yeah, that's the unfortunate thing that happened today, where I feel like in a few months from now, when the Shanghai hard fork happens, the community of Paxful will want Ethereum to be on its exchange, and it's unfortunate because Paxful is one of those peer-to-peer exchanges that people find really reliable. So that's the news there, right? Now the other thing I want to kind of look into is something that has not been discussed as much, because whenever we mention the word NFTs, you can see at ARK, we basically base real utility on our legacy NFTs and on our bonds. So it's important to understand that NFTs are not just a JPEG, and do have utility. And we've come quite far from the ERC 721 sort of standards. And a lot of people aren't, like haven't looked into this, but this is really important. So for me, Engine is a platform. It's a DeFi token, but it's also a big platform that created the ERC 1155 standard. And for DeFi, this was a big sort of standard upgrade. So Ethereum actually made ERC 1155 its final standard right now. And what ERC 1155 did was it basically tokenized Ethereum's sort of NFTs in such a way. Imagine going through a sort of a mall and you have 4 vending machines, right? One vending machine sort of gives you sodas, another vending machine gives you chocolates, another vending machine gives you other things, medicinal stuff and other sort of pharmaceutical products. What ERC 1155 actually did was it created a vending machine that allowed you to buy your sodas, your chocolates, your medicinal stuff all from one vending machine, instead of having you going through separate sort of like, you can say, vendors, and in our words, through different sort of like variables on the script. So ERC 1155 was created by Engine, and this thing is going to be revolutionizing the way we do our banking, the way we collect our NFTs, the way we do e-commerce, the way we do things in a much more sufficient way. It's a sophisticated way of doing things, but it makes things much more simpler. So this is something that I think that's really important, because today I was at the bank and I ended up staying 3 hours at the bank just to give people at Barclays a little rundown of the many benefits of non-fungible tokens. And I'm not going to give you guys 3 hours. I think that will take a bunch of time. But I think it's important to emphasize the importance of what utilities the NFTs have, because we're just coming to the brink of it. We've sort of been through the OpenSea hype, and we've seen the art side of things. Like, we've seen the auction markets, we've seen Banksy's art, we've seen Beeple's art being sort of sold for a lot. But NFTs as a financial, you can say, product, is going to bring a bunch of benefits. And right now, Binance has got financial regulatory in the Emirates right now, in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And the first seminar that they did was around the utility of NFTs. So as we see at ARK, we do lock up our NFTs and we do earn a 2% reward. This is something I was telling the banks today, because I was offered a few different financial products, from treasury bills to bonds, in the sort of traditional finance sense. And when I asked them how much my return was, they came back to me saying, you will earn 1.5% over the next 300 days. And I told them, I'm earning 2% a day here with ARK. So why would I want to go here and incentivize things? So NFTs, in a way, will be revolutionizing things in a way where you don't have to go through multiple vendors to get your product. Imagine an all-in-one sort of a cumbersome of a vending machine. And that's what's going to sort of change the way we do our gaming, the way we sort of pick out the products we want to buy, the way we sort of do our commerce. And that's why it's important for us to have a really knowledgeable community that understands ERC 1155. So those are things. I've tried my best to make that as briefly as possible. But there are, in fact, some sort of, you can say, platforms that are, in fact, using ERC 1155 for good gains. And one of them is, like, you can say, the fan clubs. So Coachella was the first sort of like music event that basically created a collectible of 15 NFTs for artists. And these artists kind of came back with the feedback where not just were they earning royalties from their music being played at Coachella, but they were earning from the streams. And it created a real royalty-based utility. And that's something I kind of gave the folks at Barclays a lecture about. And I said, you need to give people, not just artists, but you have to give the sort of merchant a place where they can they're able to mint NFTs and actually track metadata to be able to understand their customers better, to make basically earn in multiple incentives. So like ERC 1155 is going to do that in the next year or so, where an artist cannot just release their music as an NFT. They will be able to sell their merchandise. They'll be able to create gate tickets on Ticketmaster. They'll be able to do a marketplace stuff all in one go. Like one smart contract like ERC 1155 will enable the artist, the you can say the farmer, the barbershop owner, to be able to monetize in a way they've not been able to do. So that's my sort of insights into how NFTs are going to be taken over. So we can see NFTs from a financial point of view. We can see it from a security point of view as well, because right now in the fashion industry, like one of the biggest problems that they're having is things being, you can say, cloned, right? You have a cloning, and then you have people sort of wearing the same sort of, you can say, fabric, but not having it sort of eligible for things like Fashion Week. And this is something, it's a real problem in the fashion industry, and it's also starting to happen in the normal retail sector. So when an NFT is sort of provided as validation of a product that you own, then it brings more originality. It creates a limited supply of a product. So like if let's say Prada release a purse, and there's about 15 different sort of styles of it, what happens is when it hits the main market, there's about 30,000 other people to copycat that same design. So then everyone sort of gets mixed up. Sometimes it happens in the art form where things get cloned and you don't know which one's the original. So the NFTs are going to bring originality into the e-commerce, into the fashion industry. And now when it comes to banking terms, basically the guy at Barclays was trying to sell me about 15 different products within real estate, within bonds, within treasury bills, within many different yielding asset classes, but nothing gave me the originality an NFT does. So I ended up going in the back seat, open up not the PowerPoint slides, but just opening up a whiteboard and sort of bringing in a brainstorm of how NFTs are going to change the way banking is going to be done. So that's a little insight here. Am I okay on time? I just don't want to take up a bunch of time. But yeah, revenue sharing when it comes to e-commerce, these are things that that as we at ARK here, we're trying to build the legacy NFTs in a way for a person not just to see an auction market event. We want to bring utility. And we're going to do it through ERC 1155. We're going to do it through these sorts of like initiations. The other thing I want to sort of cover is, just give me 1 second, is a few different NFT platforms that have actually really gained traction. And one of them is Gainforest. So Gainforest is a global NPO working to protect the rainforest. So we know that as we sort of hit the carbon footprint and basically, and we're hitting to such a point where climate is kind of going through a bit of a change, is going through a lot of things. So what Gainforest is able to do is take a more drone perspective and show X-ray visions of like NFTs where you see where the rainforest is changing in sort of humidity and pH scales. And they're doing a really, really big revolutionary thing where they're getting a lot of like sort of farm owners, a lot of like people that are into the ecosystem to use the NFT technology, using the smart contract to like really save the rainforest or to keep things in a real eco-friendly manner. So Gainforest is one of those things. Doodles is another sort of platform that basically that is using the NFT marketplace and utility in a very, very social way, and also bring in a bunch of utility to the sort of, you can say, the sort of articulate ways where OpenSea is ranking its NFTs. The other thing I want to sort of cover is the main benefits that as a business owner NFTs are bringing, where you, from one singular smart contract, you're able to offer a range of different things to your customers, where you can give them rewards like we do at ARK. We give rewards for you holding your NFTs and your bonds. You can offer a discount rate to customers at a wide range thing, because you're not going through multiple KYCs now when it comes to global scales. So you're able to give a discount rate instead of going through brokers. So what I was explaining to the folks at Barclays was they go through several stages of KYC that sort of keeps them away from retrieving a customer. This is why customers go somewhere else. So basically the NFT can sort of break that barrier and make it easier to retain customers. It brings in social interaction. It brings a community event as well. That's the other thing that crypto is bringing in. It's bringing in a community effort where instead of a centralized sort of speaker and then having a hierarchy, that's something that's worked through the last sort of 50, 60 years. But now now products are sort of brought up from the ground up, and keep and done in a more matrix form where we do take the feedback of shareholders. And when I mean by shareholders, I mean people that are like in the community, that are external, internal shareholders, and that's something the NFTs and sort of the crypto community can kind of bring together. So we are going to use NFTs in that way in the near future. And slowly but surely, I hope ARK overall can kind of build that knowledge base. And we have great YouTubers here. We have a bunch of people that volunteer, and I was one of those that did volunteer in the start. And I want to build that knowledge base here where we do stay on top of technology. We do stay on top of like the fundamental updates, but also it's important for a community member to join our community and not be ambushed with a bunch of data, but be able to ask questions in a safe way and then go into the rabbit hole. So that's something that we will work on. Am I right on time? Time goes really quickly when I start speaking.
We're getting this crypto knowledge, man. Let's do it. Keep going, bro.
Keep going. Oh, thank you. Awesome. Now basically, Atlas, we kind of covered a thing about centralized. The first thing you asked me was like do I entrust the centralized sort of exchanges, and what we're seeing on Binance and Bitfinex, these are two like if you guys want to go check out the Bitfinex order book on how many buys and sells are happening, you can honestly go to Bitfinex and search order book on Google, and you can like in real time see how much of inflow and outflow they're going through when it comes to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana and BNB. And this week, since the arrest of Sam Bankman-Fried, we have seen huge spikes. We've seen huge spikes of withdrawals. I would say 60% of that is sort of security concerns, where people feel that when the busy hours of Christmas comes or Boxing Day, we are going to see halts and withdrawals. So if any of you are holding cryptocurrencies on centralized exchanges, do buy like add a non-custodial wallet like MetaMask and try to get your assets onto there, because we are seeing spikes. We were seeing between 2.5 and 3 billion a week ago on Binance, but now we're seeing a spike of $6 to $7 billion. So it's important for us to like keep our wallet safe and have access to our things, and that's what the MetaMasks of the world can provide us. So do look into that, because these centralized exchanges are going through a big influx of withdrawals, and it's because it's done through a centralized API like Infura. It creates a halt in withdrawals and stuff. So it's something to kind of look into. The other thing I want to kind of cover is this little statement, right, about NFTs, and then I can sort of end it there and open it up to Q&A. But utility NFTs have been well received because they encourage a community focused ecosystem, and this is really important for ARK. It's important for a lot of DeFi projects to have a community focused ecosystem. So when I have people like Neto, when I have people like Florida Realtor, folks that basically have a bunch of experience in their own sort of, like, you can say, categories. It could be real estate, it could be cybersecurity, it could be as we have here at the card company that we have here, Ultimo. We can basically have a community focused ecosystem where you folks in your own sort of like communities, in your own sort of like professional marketplaces have had experience and have seen things over the last decades that we at ARK can kind of encourage. So that's important for utility entities like we have in Legacies here, is to have a community focused ecosystem. So why do we have a community focused ecosystem? Because members get a fair chance to get rewards, to get discounts. And that's what our community is about. It's about having sort of weekly draws, daily draws. It's about having like earning rewards to be able to get access to other things. So social, community, and then slowly but surely, we are going to have game theory come into it, where the marketplace will give you a variety of things that you can go for. And that's something that the NFT and you can say the crypto community here, a knowledgeable crypto community can kind of bring in. And that's what we want to work on. And we want to promote that through Discord. We want to do it through our social media sort of emphasis. I know we are all centralized within Telegram right now, but slowly but surely, I'd like some volunteers to come here. If it's SK Crypto, if it's others like you, demand, folks like yourself have communities. And if we can create a knowledge base on Discord, it would change the way we do things. It could create a voting dynamic where I can sort of put a survey up. And if folks want things like centralized exchanges to be discussed, or they want the use case of NFTs to be discussed, then we can vote on those kind of things. So these are polls and stuff and many different variations that me, Akash, and others have been kind of discussing. And it's great to have a bunch of you here. So do DM us. And yeah, that sort of ends my you can say crypto dialogue for today, Atlas. Thank you for your time.
Fantastic information. Thank you for sharing with us, C. And man, I would have loved to see the look on their faces over there at Barclays Bank when you're telling them you're getting 2% a day over here at ARK.
Can I share you the story? Have I got time to give you 2 minutes of what happened?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're hanging out. Let's do it.
Yeah. So basically, I had it's a monthly review with my bank manager, and usually this monthly review is done virtually because of COVID. And this time, this guy Fred gives me a shout. Fred from Barclays Bank, kudos to you. Gives me a shout to come to my local branch. So I go there, and he's like, I see that you have a diverse portfolio, and we'd like to offer you some products here in because we have savings accounts, we have real estate, we have a bunch of different things that you can sort of diversify in, and each asset class that he would ask me to invest in, I would ask him for APY. And this would confuse him. He's like, why wouldn't you let me explain the functions? And I go, I know the real estate market. I know what your bonds can offer me. I'm a trader at heart. So give me something different. Surprise me. Tell me you guys are going into different environments. You guys are investing in different like events and different and I want to know about the crypto side. I want to know about the NFT side. So he was shell shocked. He tells me about about how Visa card tried to explain them about NFTs, and as I said, you guys don't understand the return. So he goes, could you give me some? So then he started to question me a little bit and ask me what my returns have been, and I told him the 2% that you're offering a year, the sort of like advisory standard that I hold at ARK is offering me in a day, and that sort of like he had a moment where he for a whole minute he was shell shocked. And then after a minute of like taking his thoughts through and looking at my smiley face, he basically goes to me, could you explain me further? How are you able to give your customers 2% a day? So I showed him the ARK website. And then he basically it was about lunch hour for him, and he spoke to a few of his sort of employees, and instead of like go like just giving me the goodbye and thank you, they actually took me to the back door, offered me coffee and beverages and lunch, and said, could you explain us, and gave me a whiteboard and started to like just said, could you tell us from scratch the utility of NFTs? So I created an NFT, created a bubble around it, and just opened up 5 of their sort of products that they were offering me, from ISAs to real estate to bonds to treasury bills. And I said, the problem with your treasury bills, your ISAs, and your real estate is they aren't offering me enough for my buck. And the NFTs and real estate on things like labs and other sort of like platforms are offering me many more you can say returns, and that's why I am not going to go for you guys. So he made so I ended up like giving electric to 20 employees, and within like a couple of hours they had a log of about 30 customers, so I had to end my conversation. But they did invite me for another round of discussions next week, so I will volunteer and educate them even further.
Make sure you use your link, man, when they sign up.
Absolutely.
Get that syndicate going, brother. Yeah, they'll be on the low, man, getting their customers, their whales on over, here to ARK as part of, their syndicate. So, yeah, I mean, did you explain to them how the round robin works?
Yeah. I showed them the website, and then they started to ask multiple questions about the different, you can say that the round robin. They asked about the legacy NFTs. They asked about the bonds, and for each thing, I gave them like a simple description. I did not complicate it for them, and I think a bunch of them are going to be looking to start putting their own money towards it and seeing returns. So yeah, next week will be even more detailed.
You dropped the bomb over there at Barclays, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why they took me in the back door. I think they were scared I'm going to take their customers away from them.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. There's some folks in here that also I know are out there, on the real world streets, right? Talking to, people in the real life and folks. I know Florida Realtor is one that is out there educating these folks, talking to them, and bringing this message of investing. So really something fantastic. And then of course we got Catalyst that's doing the Medium articles. Brad, there's so many folks in here that are growing their whole network, right? By growing their network. So, man, guys, keep up with it. And I think the more you do it, the easier it gets, and you'll start to really be able to, create these images and ideas that folks can connect to and assimilate, understand how the system works. So that's something that's just a natural progression. As you do something, anything, you become better at it. And for those of you folks that are not really good at talking to people, or you don't have the time, you're really busy, do understand we have this channel here, always open. Our admins, pretty much are almost 24/7. They do get some sleep, but they're here to help. And if you need, really like some hand holding one-on-one, you've got Coach Brad, who's going to walk them through from, what is DeFi to MetaMask, security on the computer, VPN, and buying fiat, buying ARK through fiat, pardon me, and being able to come and join us on this journey. Once we get also, the Ultimo fiat onboarding with their credit cards, that's going to be huge as well. Make it super simple. So we have a lot ahead of us, guys, and I personally can't wait as everything's coming together. I think at a great pace. We have a fantastic group of leaders here that are involved, that are bringing a lot of experience and a lot of information that we can all, take a look at and incorporate into our own database, our own knowledge base, that we could just press a button and in our mind and be able to convey and explain things to folks that have never been involved in crypto. So that's really fantastic. I want to remind everyone, if you are going to be available in about 30 minutes, we're going to be going on over to the TLD lounge. That's let me see here. It should be pinned for you folks. Let me see. Actually, admins, let's go ahead and repin the AMA so that folks understand. But let's maybe wait a little bit till like 10 minutes, 5 minutes before we start. So yeah, let's notify everyone. Go ahead.
Hey, Atlas.
Yes, sir.
Hey, bud. So I got a question for Z. If Z, I spoke to an investor the other day, and they're looking at getting to ARK. They don't have any means in cryptocurrency now. So they're going to have to go through Coinbase, go through Binance. They chose to go through Binance. They're going to have their money held for 10 days. You were just mentioning, about kind of moving all your assets off the centralized exchanges, which I agree. But is there any other way that you know of right now that if somebody wanted to, 10, 15, 20 grand to put again into ARK, what would be easiest and quickest way to do that without having to wait 10 days or do something extremely risky?
So yesterday I mentioned Uniswap. Uniswap is a decentralized part of the community where you can basically go to Uniswap, and with their partnership with MoonPay, MoonPay hasn't got the strongest KYC, which means you can sort of ultimately be able to purchase directly through the Uniswap app. Crypto.com is offering the same thing through light KYC, but you're able to purchase. Coinbase, Binance, and these other folks are giving issues, but there are other ways. I would go directly to Uniswap, and a friend of mine did a purchase yesterday after the announcement.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. So we'll look at Uniswap then. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Yeah, a bunch, like, this is what's gonna happen, guys. Like, I think people are losing trust in sort of centralized exchanges because of the withdrawal halts, and that's the reason why FTX had its debacle, because of withdrawal halts. But hopefully that gives DeFi a better look, and what's gonna happen is things like MoonPay, things like JP Morgan, others are gonna go through things like Uniswap, like PancakeSwap, like WakuSwap, to basically offer their customers a place to buy crypto directly through these DeFi exchanges, instead of going through the other route of Binance or Bitfinex or Coinbase, because centralized exchanges are sort of bringing a different way. I mean, like when it comes to DeFi, we vote on things, we keep things very transparent, and that's something that centralized exchanges are showing to lack. So yeah, unfortunately that's what's happening in the centralized exchanges, but DeFi is gaining attraction, things like Uniswap, and then folks like Ultimo here. I think I'm going to sign up to Ultimo, so if I can DM any of you guys, I use crypto.com for my transactions, but yeah, Ultimo is something I will be using for my ARK very soon. But yeah, I hope that helps Realtor with Uniswap.
I believe so. Thanks again for your knowledge and in-depth information on what's going on in the crypto space.
Let's get this crypto knowledge. Yeah, I'd like to just point out again that Realtor, and we have Udaman here. We do want to create a place on Discord where we do want to create a knowledge base and create a subcategory of things. So it'll be a place where, whilst I do my discussions here at nighttime, that I can pre-launch and prelude my articles and stuff there, and then we can open-handed discussions. So that's where like Udaman and others like yourself can bring people from like the traditional finance world or the real world, and bring them to the ARK Discord page, where they do get good sort of high quality knowledge, and they're able to ask the community any questions. And I've built communities like that from folks like yourself that are from the real world. So yeah, do DM me if you can volunteer. Thank you.
Oh, heck yeah, that sounds great, man. I'll be looking forward to that, definitely. Because you were mentioning NFT to your associates there at the bank, associating with all their products there. So that'd be interesting to see how we can bring people in our profession in and kind of connect the dots with NFT and things going on. So I'll be looking forward to that. I think we'll get a lot of attention from that Discord.
Absolutely, knowledge is power. The more knowledgeable your community is, the better the quality of investments, the more long-term effect people have. People aren't looking for the quick 100x. People are realizing that DeFi in the next 2 to 3 years is going to go on a real boom run, and it's not going to stop. So right now is the time to like learn as much, to be able to buy a dip on a token, that has utility, and then write it out. And you can only do that if you have a knowledgeable community. And that's what we want at ARK.
That's right. No doubt about it.
So how long have we got till the AMA? I'm looking forward to this. Half an hour?
We got 22 minutes.
That's beautiful, man. It's just I gotta appreciate the team. I have to appreciate the community, the troubleshooting, because Atlas, me and you know, we've worked on multiple projects and we've never had a community-based sort of like troubleshoot the way we have this week. And I think we do have to take a minute to like appreciate the crowd we have here. And we have to appreciate the team that's been hardworking. I've not been able to talk to Brett and Brad as much as I wanted to. Normally I have my coffee breaks with them. And this week I can see that they have been at their highest levels. And this is how diamonds get made, guys. Like you're gonna go through a bunch of it. And it's just nice to have a community here that understands that. And I can say the first week of any launch and stuff is like a beta phase where things do get upgraded. We do go through a lot of like, say, troubleshooting, and it's great that we have a community that understands that. And I hope this is something for the long term. And whenever we have an upgrade or we have a new product or a new launch or a new partnership, we're able to not just launch it and let people fly with it. We want people to have the knowledge base to be able to ask questions. So this is podcast number 51. So yeah, let the good times roll, guys. We're in a beautiful place right now.
Absolutely. No question about that. Yeah, folks have been very, very patient, and they're seeing the work come through, which is important. We see a lot of folks in this space that overpromise and under-deliver time and time again. And primarily, I think that folks have good intentions. It's just difficult to be able to assemble teams of very experienced professional folks that want to put the time in and that see that it's not a waste of their efforts and their talents. That's a big hurdle, because there is talent out there, but they're very expensive. And if you can't pay them up front what they want and be on their list of 30 customers that they're dealing with that week, and wait around for them to get back to you, you have to be able to really entice them and attract them with some real utility as far as like what they have to come and build, and the whole concept of an idea of like, why am I going to invest so much time? What's in it for my future? And I think that's something that we all understand as investors here, and to have a team that understands that and is going on that same journey, that is creating the system so that we could all benefit and grow and enjoy, reach our financial goals and plan forecasts for our future. That I think is something that is amazing, and probably one of the most important things that I see and I'm grateful for. Because without a team that can execute, you could have the best idea in the world, but you're not going to get anywhere, my friend. I hate to tell you the truth. How many guys do I know that are brilliant and are just not successful? The execution is really where it's at. You need to have that. Then you see other guys that are just not able to delegate. They want to do everything themselves, and they could be, a really good inventor, a really bad engineer, or a really bad CEO. So that's something that I've seen a lot of times too, where people are like, man, why is this guy like not doing well? Okay, I understand it. They're trying to do everything themselves, or their business skills aren't there. So there's a lot of variables that I find that in order to really be able to reach your goals, you have to have those killers on your group that are willing to sacrifice and work extra hard. So yeah, man, extremely grateful to the teams and also to the investors it wouldn't be possible if the folks didn't show up here. Some going back to February, March, advising, investing. Some of these folks that are here standing shoulder to shoulder with us, they invested into this project back in March and have been patiently waiting and sitting, which is something that again is very humbling to see people that give you a chance, that believe that you're going to be able to do something special and are just going to sit there and wait. So thank you, really, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, down to it, Atlas. Like, this is not my first business venture. I've created companies, and the companies that basically have good vibrancy, the ones that do create a passive income, that create a place of interest, is down to the team and how they involve the community. So when you have a place where the team is doing a sort of a regular podcast, a place where the community is able to get question answered in real time, those are the sort of elements that you keep consistent with. And then the other thing, like I've learned in business, is what happens is in crypto, it could be anything. What happens is people have great intentions, but they like to have control of the environment. And unfortunately, when it comes to business, when it comes to the environments, when it comes to crypto, we realize that we can't predict when the next bull or the next bear is going to be. We have no control over that, equilibrium. So it's important to basically have a more group think than having an individual sort of seeking to give some solutions. So what happens in crypto a lot is basically people create these ambitious roadmaps, and as they start to like target the roadmap sort of deadlines, they realize they need more time to do that. So but fortunately here, what we've done is we've been really honest with our community and been transparent about a bunch of different things. And we've seen the white paper upgrade. We've seen more, you can say, domains and more servers being hired up to keep up with the bandwidth. And that's because we are transparent with our community. And I think we keep a more regional timeline on roadmaps, on a lot of things. And I think those are the sort of projects that really survive, the ones that really thrive. They're the ones that basically use that to their advantage. And it's hard for folks to be vulnerable at a time, especially in a bear market. But that's something, unfortunately, that we have here. The team here is super hardworking, and the community here is very patient with us. And so yeah, I know I'm saying this for the 100th times, but I like to really be thankful for the community and the team here.
Thank you, man. You were one of the investors back in March.
Yeah,
you had the patience to sit there and let your crypto stand still as we've worked hard to get to this point. So yeah, round of applause for you too.
Appreciate it. It's been a great week, Alice. This overall. I know we have 15 minutes left for this great sort of podcast on YouTube, but like it's been a team effort, and I've seen it on a folks here, people here, they sort of see the outside of things, but when you sort of look at the internal mechanisms of how we get things done, it is magic. It is magic. It is beautiful to see. And long shall that stay and continue. And I hope we like we have people from Ultimo here. I hope we bring an ecosystem of folks that really want to give people real utility in DeFi in the real world. And it's only going to start when we sort of have a knowledge base, when we have something consistent. That's what's going to help people learn about things like NFTs that are going to give people much more knowledge on what staking rewards or what APY really is in DeFi. And I think we're just at the beginning, at least. Like right now, we've had a consistent sort of market cap on a project. We've had real good investors come in. We've seen some big buy-ins come in, and soon we're going to see more partnerships. We're going to see all those things, but I think we have to keep that level of consistency on an hourly, daily basis for the next few months. And then what's going to happen is it's going to make us connect with bigger partners and bigger sort of you can say continents. I like to say the Philippines is something that we've connected with. Sort of Korea is another place that we've with Udaman and his sort of community. And then we've also had the Arab community as well. I forgot the guy's name, but he was pretty vocal on how the Middle East works with DeFi right now. So I think we're in a good place, and this is only the beginning. I mean, I have a sort of scope where our Discord becomes a place of knowledge. It becomes a place where people hang out all day to not just to compound and claim their ARK, but a place where they learn new skill sets. They learn about new wallets. They learn about different things, and that's what this what we hold here, and especially with people like Realtor, Udaman, and folks like Brad. We were investors in February, March, but now we are, we're stakeholders, we're shareholders in this sort of proof of stake community. So we are in a good place, and hopefully we're only seeing the, like, if you think this is success, watch what happens in a few months with the consistency we have. So those are my final words. I ain't gonna say any more. If anyone has any questions on DeFi, we do have 10 minutes left. So if anyone wants an opinion shared or something, do unmute your mic and do ask away.
Hey, quick question there. Is the Spark rewards, are they liquid or do they get deposited in the vault automatically if you win?
They get deposited into the ARK vault for the account of the winner. We purposely did that to make sure that someone's not winning and just dumping on the rest of us, right? So goes back to the whole philosophy here of everyone being invested in the same boat, right? Earning your way to be able to get to that financial freedom. So we believe that's the fairest, balanced way.
Cool, man. That's what I thought. Thank you.
And how you been doing, Mistletoe? What's happening over in Toad World?
I'm doing good. Getting ready for the holidays. Got to drive about 7 hours to see my family, but it's like minus 25 here. Just trying to stay warm.
Minus 25.
Oh wow!
What?
Yeah, the Great White North.
You're
in Canada?
Yeah, I'm in Canada.
Wow.
Brutal, heinous. 7 hours. Wow, that's intense, man.
Dude, I can't complain anymore. I really can't.
Yeah, it's crazy. Actually, my buddies in Alberta, they were getting minus 43 with wind chill.
Ooh, wow. Florida Realtor, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say Mistletoe has been burning up the chats, man. I've been all day long. He's been rallying everybody with these Spark Awards. I've had several people, contact, asked about that. So great job, man, getting the Spark Rewards, sparking everybody's interest about the Spark Awards, man. Good job getting it out there.
Thanks, man. It's exciting stuff. I mean, that's a lot of money to win.
Oh my gosh, huge. 90. I mean, it doubled from the day, and it's just going to continue to escalate up there. I mean, that's a huge payday, a big payday.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked when I saw it this morning. I was like, holy, it's already at like 40 when I woke up, and yeah, it's 80. It's just going to continue to grow. I'm excited.
I think like the other thing with like sort of DeFi and things like sort of prize draws and stuff is sort of the spontaneity of it, how things sort of generate, and it's great to like sort of have something to look forward to like that, and especially on a daily basis. So maybe we have many days and weeks and months like that where we have sort of surprises and we can actually like sort of have fun with it. I think what happens is we sort of see it as an investment, or we see it as things, and we stop to like the sort of knowledge stops there because we don't have fun with it, and this is somewhere we can sort of see things really generate, and then really get excited for whoever wins or you know, the Spark rewards. And this is only the beginning, guys. And there's going to be so much more upcoming. We still have a bull market to hit. A lot to come forward.
Yeah. You know, we were figuring out today in the chat that there's approximately about 500 wallets that are entered in the contest. It's kind of what we kind of factored in a little bit. It might be off a little bit here and there, but still the odds are fantastic as far as getting that, especially the ones who have multiple wallets. If they have a bond or NFT in 3 or 4, that just increases your chances to win those Spark Awards each day. So yeah, that's super exciting to look at those odds. That is.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, do keep up with the announcements. I think we're 8 minutes away from this big podcast. I'm looking forward to it. Whenever we have these sort of discussions, and Atlas and Brett, you guys do a great job, man. It's like I become a fan having popcorn just to listen to you guys. It's a joy.
Same here. Very good. Very educational. And then diverse of information. I love it.
Yeah, and you the man, you like the other day, man. Thanks for playing my 5-minute clip that I was speaking to your community of. I think I'm over the jet lag now, so I'm gonna be up every day.
It was so funny. Anybody there? You woke up after crashing it, and then I was streaming, and then I heard your voice, and then I asked you to share your thought about the crypto, and then you talk about Shanghai hard fork, and then the people who stake Ethereum, they may be able to unstake it, so there might be some fluctuation of the prices. So I think that's very short comment, but it is very informational, educational. Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I'm telling you, like that. It was hilarious. Where fortunate, are we still recording or have we stopped? Can I talk offline now? Because
Still recording.
Still recording.
But we're going to go ahead and end that now, ladies and gentlemen, as we are going to head on over to our AMA that's coming up. We're going to go ahead and admins, please pin that. Thank you, folks, for being here, participating in this amazing podcast that we have here tonight. It is number 51. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. EST, 11 p.m. UTC. And we're also going to be having another AMA, and that's going to be earlier. That's going to be before tomorrow's podcast. We're going to be posting that for you shortly here. So that's going to be at the DeFi Club with Chris Durden as the host. So as you see, we're continuing here on a tear of AMAs now that we see that everything's balancing out and working very smooth with the D app and the whole system. We have to continue with our philosophy here of never letting the foot off the gas. Growth is extremely, extremely important. So guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.